This message is for those of you in the thick of battle, where the enemy is trying to make his final move on you. Who friends? I did a video a few days ago titled, "You are about to be in your unstoppable era." And some of you have commented like, "This is my breakthrough, this is happening." You are not just fighting for survival here. This is a direct assault on your destiny. And if you don't pay attention now, the enemy is going to gain ground that has been divinely assigned to you. And we are not going to let that happen. So let me talk about this subtle attack on your focus. It's not just the distractions that you're dealing with. It is targeted attacks on your mental clarity. The enemy is not just trying to keep you busy in a way that seems unmanageable. And the enemy is doing this so that when God speaks to you, you mistake it for something else that's going on around you. That's how cluttered your mental focus is, whether it's constant interruptions, endless to-do lists, or emotional exhaustion. Oh, the emotional exhaustion. The real battle is your focus. The enemy knows that if he can keep you mentally fragmented, you will not see the path that God is laying down for you. But the attack isn't just about keeping you busy. No. It's about keeping you spiritually disconnected. As you start to realize this, you can see how the enemy is trying to pull you away from the direct download that God is sending you. See, at this level, the enemy is trying to cross the spiritual boundaries you've established through prayer and obedience. The enemy is testing your levels, pushing you just close to the edge to see if you will let your guard all the way down. And I know, friend, you have been tested in this area, because a lot of you are telling me straight up, "Cass, girl, I'm done. I don't care. I quit. I hear it. I feel it. I see it." A lot of you are looking like you are on the brink of defeat, and that's not going to happen here. We've got to pull you away from that moment, and you do that through your prayer, through your willpower, through understanding your divine purpose. Come through and say it with me. Maybe it's the past temptation reappearing, and I know a lot of y'all saying that these oldies are coming back into your life from 10-15 years ago. Oh, y'all told me that. They just popping out and trying to show you like, "Hey girl, I ain't seen you in a while and you won't see me now. Shut that door, girl." It's not a coincidence that these people are showing up, that these situations are reappearing. That is a strategic move by the enemy. The enemy wants to see if they can reclaim that same ground that you've already covered and send you 100 steps back. And the enemy is patient. The enemy is so patient. The enemy will slowly attempt to infiltrate your progress, and we ain't gonna let that happen. A lot of y'all been out there really going through the motion. So this isn't just about holding your ground. The enemy wants to invade the space where you are about to make the most spiritual impact. I said, this isn't just about holding your ground. This is much more tactical than that. The enemy wants to invade the space where you're about to make the most spiritual impact. And at this level, you're not talking about personal struggles no more. Oh, we going above and beyond that. You're talking about the enemy's attempt to halt your influence. I want you to hear me, friend. The enemy is making an attempt to halt your influence and dismantle what is meant to impact others. This is where the spiritual warfare hits closest to home, because your influence is so impactful that the enemy has deemed it necessary to cause chaos and disruption in other people's worlds to then turn around and dismiss your influence on them. This is real spiritual warfare. So at this point, the enemy isn't just attacking you, he's attacking the spiritual authority that you carry and what that spiritual authority means to others. He wants to destabilize your voice, undermine your leadership, and scatter those who are meant to follow you. Oh, friend, the enemy's slick. So maybe you started to notice people around you doubting you, or the things that you built are starting to fall apart unexpectedly. This is a tactic to cause confusion and dysfunction within your camp. See, the attack on your authority is meant for you to question who you are. But here's the actual truth. God has already fortified you. What you've been entrusted with can't be taken away from the enemy. That's why he's becoming so aggressive towards you. The enemy is afraid of the impact that you'll have on the immediate and future generations. That's right, I'm talking about dismantling generational curses. This is in direct connection to the people who need and rely on your guidance. This is a strategic generational attack. You must declare your authority during this battle. When the enemy tries to weaken your influence, you need to reinforce your boundary. You need to call on your spiritual army. And remember that your spiritual authority is not something the enemy can dismantle unless you allow the enemy to dismantle it. So let me wrap this up for you. God's special message for you today, this is not just a personal attack. This is a spiritual invasion aimed at destabilizing everything that God has built within you and around you. But the battles belong to God, and God has already secured your victory. How do I know that? Because you right here, you testifying. Your task is to guard your mind, reclaim any ground that you may have lost, and stand 10 toes down in your spiritual authority. The enemy is scared of what's coming next for you, friend. But know this, and I need you to know and hold this to your soul. What God has placed in you will not be taken. It's time to rise and reinforce those spiritual walls and those spiritual laws. It's time to push forward through clarity and through strength, because the enemy's plan is already crumbling.